And I also spoke with Palm Springs Mayor Jeff Coors about the protest happening, as well as the recent layoffs that the city began. Take a look. Mayor Coors, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
We've talked with you a lot recently about some of the tough decisions the city of Palm Springs has been making because of the massive budget shortfall. Now, that includes layoffs.
Unfortunately, it does. The city is facing a $75 to $80 million deficit in our budget because of loss of occupancy tax for hotels and vacation rentals, loss of sales tax, and other losses in revenue because of our very tourism-driven market. As a result, we've had to make some very difficult choices. We've used as much of our regular reserve as we can to help make a difference here, and we built a close to $50 million reserve. We have stopped all capital projects that weren't already underway that we could stop, such as road repaving and things along those lines, saving a lot of money as well. But we do need reductions in staff. Unfortunately, there are 29 layoffs that are part of this, but there are a total of 81 positions that are being not filled. So about 30 staff people took early retirement payouts rather than being laid off, and that freed up money for other positions. We did have to do some layoffs as well, and we are doing a lot of restructuring. We need to stretch every dollar and be as efficient as possible. But every department is impacted by this, and we're all working hard to minimize these. City manager took a voluntary 20% pay cut some time ago. All non-unionized staff took a 10% pay cut. And the 4 unions who have contracts where they are getting a pay increase effective July 1st agreed to defer that for a year so we could save more positions.
What has the reaction been?
We received, hundreds, if not 1,000 emails from people, had over 100 people call in for public comment, all advocating that we keep something that they really value. And what it really told us is how much our residents really appreciate all the programs and services that we provide. We're a full service city. We have our own parks and recreation program. That's not true in a lot of cities in the Valley. We have our own police and fire, and I couldn't be prouder to have our own police and fire during this challenging times right now. So we do a lot that other cities in the Valley don't do. We have an airport. We have all kinds of services that we provide, and all the cities here do a great job in the Valley. But we're going to have to reduce and live within our means, just like people are having to do at home.
I also want to talk to you, Mayor, about the protests that are happening. I know Palm Springs has been very stringent about face coverings, and we see a lot of people getting together, not always covering their faces, not social distancing. I believe there's a protest planned tomorrow in Palm Springs. Are you concerned that there could be a spike in coronavirus cases?
Yes, there's concerns everywhere there are large gatherings that there could be a spike in coronavirus cases. The best thing for people to do is to have a face covering and try and keep some distance from non-family members. That's hard to do in a protest. We understand that, but we want people to be as safe as they can. And what's being recommended throughout the state and throughout the country is for people who are at these protests, it's important that they get tested after so they know if they have come in contact with the virus, so they don't risk family members who might be older or have underlying health issues and are more vulnerable.
As you know, Mayor, I encouraged our viewers to send in questions ahead of our interview with you. They could either email them to us or tweet me. And here's one of the questions that we received from a guy named James in Palm Springs. Take a look.
Hi, my name is James. I live in Palm Springs and I have a question. The airlines have reduced capacity and even plane sizes to Palm Springs. Is there any plan in the upcoming months to work with them to increase the size of planes and frequency of flights to recharge our economy? Thank you.
Your answer, Mayor.
Well, thanks, James, for your question. There's been so much work to increase capacity to the airport because that's what drives more than 2 million people into our destination every year. And of course, it helps all us residents when we want to go anywhere to be able to fly directly nonstop to over 20 locations from Palm Springs International. The airlines have reduced capacity. We still do have flights, but capacity's down. People on the flights, there are very few. And it's the summer when capacity usually goes down. But of course, we talk to the airlines regularly. We're hoping that they will increase capacity as demand increases. And that's what's going to be key, that they see the demand for people to come here once leisure travel is allowed to resume, which is moving in that direction in the state of California. And Palm Springs has allowed any business that the state or county allows us to open. We depend on leisure travel, and we want it to be done safely and with precautions. In fact, we have new banners for the airport welcoming people and reminding them that, you know, PS is keeping you safe. We want people to know that we're focused on keeping people safe throughout this process.
Mayor Kors, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Peter. It's always nice to do this with you.